good guy right now.
But again, though, the question still stands. How do you top this? You
It's
you,
tough.
you
It's
can't.
tough. It's tough to top Brock Lesnar in general,
How do
let
you?
alone top him after being a contender.
Mania is not that far away, so now you got to come up with something a little more juicy. And I still don't even think they can do it.
Did you get to catch that Paul Heyman interview I texted you the other week?
Yeah. Yep.
He was saying some really good things in there, and he even agreed that the challenge right now is that Roman has beaten all the greats, and he even came out and bluntly said it. And there's not someone with enough build and sizzle that could come up to Roman Reigns right now.
Remember, I was saying that to you the week before.
No, we all agree with that.
Yeah.
Where I disagree with you really thoroughly is we definitely agree that the struggle is to have that next person that's hot enough and believable enough and has the brand name enough. But where I disagree with you is that Drew McIntyre, if they start the engine back up and the momentum back up right now, that he could be that person ready to go. I think he could be that person ready to go. And in the meantime, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I wish they had more brand names lined up, but the reality of the matter is, in some ways, it doesn't matter who they line up because whoever you line up against Roman right now, he's going to make it the best thing that you could possibly see.
No.
He's going to make it something you have to pay attention to. So, in a sense, Roman got it covered between now and WrestleMania, but I think where we part ways is where I really believe Drew McIntyre built the resume. He's kind of laying low right now because he has to get that momentum back, but he has the resume, the size, the tools to be built to be in a real worthy main event, and he can be the guy to believably end the reign.
This is what this is the only thing I'm gonna disagree with. If we're talking WrestleMania, I don't think he tops it. It's not that he doesn't work.
But can he
works.
be as good as that?
I
He
don't
might
think-
not top it. He
I don't
can be equal to
I
it.
don't think he can. I think he.
Why?
I think he falls short in that department
Why?
because it's not he's legit. But if we're talking a WrestleMania worthy main event, I still don't think he fills that shoe up fully.
Ooh, that's tough.
I still think he has more to do in his career before he fills that shoe up.
Like what? He did the major milestones. He paid his dues.
He's still kind of a new big player. He's still kind of a new big player. That's really what it is at the end of the day. Roman's not. Brock is not.
You're right. You're right. You're right about that. But I think that's part of the what could make it special. He's still fresh. He's still very fresh, and there's a lot of unexplored tap stories to tell with him in and inside the ring and outside the ring. On top of the fact, I'm gonna be honest. I think you know how great Drew is, but I really think the fact that most of his best work being done without fans in the pandemic, he got the short end of the stick. I think that's affecting your value of him. He was doing his greatest stuff when nobody was in the arena, and it seems like he's not that dude. But in reality, he is that dude. I think it really affected his perception that he did some of his best stuff during this pandemic.
You're absolutely right. Which is exactly why I'm saying he's not there yet. That's exactly what I'm saying. He's not there yet. He needs to do more shit in front of actual real environment in order for me to actually put him in that Roman in Brock in Cena type category. He needs to do more stuff in real environments, bro, with real pressure, with real heat.
I could accept that.
You see what I mean? Like that's why I'm saying he's still kind of a new big player because look what he's doing now. They haven't do.
You know he got to lay low after. You know he faced Lashley when he was on Raw. He faced him so many times, and the last stipulation was he had to stay away. He couldn't challenge Lashley ever again. So he's kind of in that retooling mode of momentum.
He has to work from scratch again because when the fans wasn't here, that's when his bubble was really going. But that's the problem is there really wasn't no bubble because there was no loud reaction going at him. There was no loud reaction going at him. That stuff is a big ass difference. It's a huge difference.
This is true. The last time we did have fans before they went away was the 2020 Royal Rumble when he won it.
And he was on his way.
The crowd exploded when he eliminated Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he was on his way.
That showed me that if this pandemic never happened, and then the couple weeks after on Raw, when him and Brock were in segments selling the feud, he was holding his own. He was knocking Brock on his ass. He was holding his own on the microphone with Paul Heyman. That showed me the trajectory was there. But I understand we have to now see it. I understand. I accept that we have to see it. But I know that he has the tools, the confidence in it. Just makes the most sense now that you can't. I mean, it'll take a lightning will strike it down and hit us before we get The Rock. Everybody knows we want that. John Cena. Come on.
We're not doing that again.
So I have to analyze who's available.
He is.
And I gotta pick out of who's the best available.
He might.
And to me, if you started building them up now in an aggressive way, because he doesn't need to do much. He has the resume. He's a recent WWE champion. He just needs some big grudge matches to get that dominance factor in and that momentum. With that build-up, I totally see people buying into it because of how good Roman Reigns is and because of everything Drew McIntyre has recently done. I really think he can be that guy. And to be completely honest with you, I'm glad Brock Lesnar and Roman are having this rematch before WrestleMania because I think it would be too much months to kill to keep them focused on each other this far out. Like, I'm glad they're doing it. I would do it at Royal Rumble, but I'm glad they're doing it ahead of time.
I'm not glad they're doing it only because, like I said, I'm unsure how they're going to match it. It's too much of an unsure factor of how you bring the level back up. Because you have to bring the level back up. WrestleMania is the biggest deal of them all. You know what I mean? You gotta at least give Roman something that can, either make it a great ending or make it something just as special to continue it. You have to do it. It like him taking it from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. I think is that how it went.
I think he won it. He won it like last year's SummerSlam. So, but
he's
already on a year and some change.
But if he goes past WrestleMania, it's a huge milestone. And if he loses, that's another huge moment. But the guy across from him has to be someone that beats the level. Or matches the level.
The guy across from him has to be available. The guy across from him also has to be able to hold that title potentially and be here. Mm-hmm. That's why I believe in Drew McIntyre because I look at the rest of the full timers who can step up and match Roman Reigns with size and could believably say I was a good WWE champion too. Those are two huge things on that checklist, and who could say that They have all the tools: promo, marketability, crowd reaction. Every night they come out, they get the right crowd reaction. It's Drew McIntyre. I mean, if he wasn't, I look at the rest of the full-time roster. Big E, I love what he's doing, but that's a guy I feel like, no, yeah, I agree with you. That's a guy I look at that I say he's too new to ever step into a WrestleMania ring with Roman. But Drew, I don't put him in that box at all. I think I put him in the box that people weren't able to digest and absorb how great he is because there wasn't crowds in the audience. That Randy Orton stuff, that proved to me he was great. That Bobby Lashley stuff he did was great. That Seth Rollins stuff, every time he stepped into the ring on people close to Roman's caliber, if not on the same level, he knocked it out the park. But so I have no reason to doubt him.
It's different. It's hard to tell what's knocking out of the park and what's not without people.
It is.
It's hard to tell. So
all we could go off of is execution. And execution, he did it.
But now is when it's now that we're supposed to really see what he's really made of, because they cut it short during the Brock stuff, which he did deliver on. The whole Brock stuff, I give that a good grade, a really good grade. But everything after that, I can't give it any grade.